Okay, hi everyone, welcome back, and in this update we are going to check out Algorand's price chart and see what is happening in the short term. And I think I would like to be still optimistic and hope for some more upward price action. But before we get into all that, in today's video, at first we are going to dive into the concept of Wall Street tokenization assets. And I know it sounds quite boring, but it's actually super interesting once you peel back the layers. So here's the situation. Wall Street is at the moment trying to tokenize real world assets. That means, for example, stocks, maybe bonds, commodities, even carbon credits at the moment are getting turned into digital tokens that live on a blockchain. And why is that? Because this system is simply faster, it's more transparent, and way easier to manage than traditional systems. But not every single blockchain is built for this kind of job. And that, it seems like, it's where Algorand comes in clutch. You see, Algorand is not really trying to be flashy and fancy. No, they are just simply built differently. While other blockchains rely on smart contracts to do every single thing, Algorand actually takes a different approach and it's trying to bake a lot of functionality right into the protocol itself. Let's start, for example, with Algorand standard assets, ASA. And these are kind of like Ethereum's ERC20 tokens, but they are native to Algorand. You don't really need to write the smart contracts to create or manage them. You can freeze assets with this, you can revoke them, you can whitelist addresses, all without touching the code. It is basically a plug and play situation. Then there is also permission tokens and role-based access control, RBAC. This lets you define exactly who can hold, transfer, or maybe even interact with a token, which is absolutely perfect for regulated environments like, for example, securities trading, where compliance isn't really optional. Now, identity is also kind of an important deal in Wall Street and finance overall. Algorand has self-sovereign identity, SSI, already built in. And they are using a tool called Roca, and it allows for verified credentials and KYC/AML compliance without really relying on third-party identity providers. Basically, this is a decentralized identity done perfectly. And let's talk speed, because I think that matters quite a bit. You see, transactions on Algorand settle in just under 4 seconds. Algorand does have, at least right now, the capability to handle over 10,000 transactions per second. And I think that can actually be easily about 20k transactions, no problem at all. And here's the kicker. It's had zero downtime since launch. And that, my friends, is not marketing fluff. No, it's actually real. They never ever gone down, which means basically they had the perfect track. Now, here is where things get sort of kind of interesting. You see, Paul Atkins, former SEC chairman, recently talked about the need for principle-based regulation. And that means things like, for example, periodic disclosures, whitelisting, and a standardized token. And here's the thing, Algorand already supports all of that natively. Ethereum, on the other hand, well, okay, you would actually need to build custom smart contracts to enforce those rules. Algorand just makes it simply easier, very much safer, and much more cost effective to stay compliant. So if Wall Street is serious about tokenizing traditional assets, I think it's safe to say Algorand is not really just another simple contender in here. It's already built for these types of things. And now let's talk about some real world adoption examples and see how Algorand is being actually used in here. For example, you got OSK Lines, which is using Algorand for supply chain tokenization. That means shipping documents, cargo stats, and payment triggers are all being handled fully on chain, meaning you don't really have any manual reconciliation or maybe lost in transit excuses. You also got Lavazza Coffee. You also have Enel Group, which is a massive company. I think they are actually the second largest company in Europe working on green energy and specifically solar panels, collaborating with Algorand, which is absolutely insane. You also have, I think it was a water company in Italy working with Algorand, which is kind of a big deal if you care about tokenization of real assets. These aren't really pilot projects. No, they are production grade implementations, and they are using Algorand not because it is trendy. No, they are using it because it is absolutely stable, scalable, and built for enterprise needs. Now, here's a real kicker. You see, Algorand's approach to compliance is actually fundamentally different. Because number one, Ethereum and similar platforms bolt compliance on top of using smart contracts. And that means, well, unfortunately, more code, more audits, and more risk. On the other hand, though, Algorand is building compliance into the protocol itself. And with it, you get asset freezing, revocation, whitelisting, and role-based access, all without writing custom logic and a single line of code. And that, my friends, reduces complexity, improves security massively, and also cut costs big time. And for Wall Street, okay, that's not a nice to have, it's actually fully a requirement. So when financial institutions start looking for infrastructures to tokenize assets, I think Algorand isn't just going to be in the conversation. No, it is already aligned with what they are needing right now. If tokenizing assets becomes the backbone of modern finance, and it seems like that all signs are indeed pointing that way, Algorand is one of the few platforms truly equipped to handle all of this at a scale. And that is exactly why I am so bullish in Algo. I really find it hard to believe that with all these great fundamentals in the mid to long term, we're not going to have some huge price appreciation phases. And especially when you combine that with what is going on the live chart and the beautiful bullish setup that we have in the long term, well, okay, I think we are having a beautiful case for a magnificent bull run, hopefully in the cycle. And now let's flip over to the chart and see what the price action at the moment is telling us. Okay, so here we are on the live chart, and first things first, let's put the chart on logarithmic scale. So in terms of Helios waves, in my view, in Algo, there's actually a very good chance we are having a series of 1-2s, meaning this can be 5 up into 1 correction for wave 2, and after it's over, or who knows, maybe even it's over already, we're gonna have a massive move up into wave 3, 4, 5, and even at that point, our move up is simply not going to be over. Why? Because this white 5 wave on a higher degree is going to be into this wave 3, followed by a correction for 4, and even another strong move on the upside into wave 5. So in the short term, meaning I'm gonna say probably in the next 2 months, we are looking extremely bullish. What about the midterm structures? We are actually looking much more bullish in that area, because starting from the lowest low this time, what do we have? Clear cut, beautiful pitch perfect 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, as you can see with all the subwaves into a wave 1. And now I'm going to say probably this whole move is a correction structure in form of an ABC flat into wave 2, and this scenario suggests that, okay, in Algo, in the next phase up, we are going to have a very strong move on the upside into wave 3 and 4 and 5, excuse me, something like this. And why do I say a very strong move? Because in terms of Helios waves, wave 3 is known to be quite a strong and sharp move on the up or maybe downside. This is why I fully believe on a big bull run in Algorand. Now, having said all that, what is happening in the short term? Let's go on 30-minute time frame. Okay, so if you remember the last time that we talked about Algo, I think we were right in here, and the idea was that this can be a 5 wave up, and maybe we are going to have a consolidation pattern followed by yet another move on the upside. And if we get that, it will actually be a very bullish sign. Why? Because if you want to say that we have hit our final low, then okay, you need to be able to find off of the lowest low, let's say in this region, a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wave. This specific example is called an impulse. Rules for it are, we should not have overlapping of the waves between wave 2 and 4 and in any kind of 5 wave. Wave 3 is simply not allowed to be the smallest wave. And in terms of the sub waves, you know the story in case that you are a regular viewer of the channel. Let's change the colors. Okay, we need to be able to find 5 wave up into wave 1, 3, and 5. And for wave 2 and 4, we can have different counts, doesn't really matter. Let's say sure, ABC into wave 4 and like a WXY into wave 2. Now let's go on the live chart and see what is going on. Maybe it's best to go, I think it was this chart from TradingView. Yep, it absolutely was. So the idea was that this is a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wave up to about this point, and question is, given the recent structures, can we argue this whole move is a correction into our wave 4? In my view, the answer is yes, and I think you can argue that we are saying we are having an ABC expanded flat, which looks like this. this is our initial move down into a correction for wave B, which in this phase we're going to take this important initial high and then another move down into our C leg, and in it we are absolutely going to take the low of our wave A, and for the sub waves ABC down into A, ABC or maybe WXY up. From my POV, honestly doesn't really matter, into wave B, and then a 1 2 3 4 5 wave down into C. Let's just adjust the waves. Okay, now let's go on the live chart and count some waves, and I do actually believe maybe from this high, this is like a wave 1 2 3 correction for 4, another move down into wave 5 to about here. You can also say maybe this is going to be, excuse me, a wave 1 correction for wave 2, another small move down into wave 3 correction for 4, and even like a smaller move on the downside into wave 5. And since we really do not have a clear-cut strong overlapping of the waves, I think this is actually arguable. Now before that, what do we have? I'm thinking most likely an A running flat into wave B, another move up into wave C. This can be interpreted as yet another ABC zigzag. So what do you know? We may have already completed the subwaves in Algorand for an ABC expanded flat, meaning what? From the current point, we have to get yet another strong 1 2 3 4 5 in order to continue the uptrend, and in it we need to take at least the highest high in here for the first target, about 28 cents, but I'm thinking we may go a bit higher than that. Question though, what if we get a move on the downside? At that point, I need you to pay full attention to the shape of the move that we are maybe going to get. Why? Because I think the move itself doesn't really matter a whole lot. It's actually the shape of it that determines what is going to be next in Algorand. And for example, are we going to have a massive move down, maybe even in order to set new lows, or maybe instead we're going to get a massive move on the upside and go possibly to somewhere around the 60-70 cents area for the first target. In case that we see a very slow and choppy move down, meaning overall a correction structure, that's actually going to be a great sign indicating, you know what, maybe this whole move is going to be a 5 wave up. And I guess you can sort of kind of argue that this is going to be a 5 wave by itself. So if you want to say that, essentially you are having what? Off of the lowest low, a 1 2 3 4 5, followed by hopefully a correction down, meaning on a higher degree this might be a wave 1 correction for 2. And what's next if the scenario is happening? You know the answer, big move up into wave 3 and 4 and 5. So let's have a quick conclusion. Ideally, you want to see, starting even from the current point, a 1 2 3 4 5 in order to take the highs, and in order for you to be able to say this is wave 3, ABC flat for 4, another move up into wave 5, and then I guess it can be time for a move on the downside. On the other hand, I think it's safe to argue that there is no certainty in any market, and we are only talking about the probabilities. So in case that we don't get this move up and instead we get a move down, I need you to pay attention to the shape of the move. If this whole move is going to be corrective, okay, it can still be, in my view, a great sign suggesting the next move is indeed going to be a big one up. And I hope I explained everything well and you understood what is going on in Algorand. Anyway, if you found any value in my content, I would really appreciate if you like this video and consider subscribing to my channel and follow me on Twitter. And if you want more, maybe you want a complete analysis for your own specific crypto, or maybe you want to learn some decent TA in order to be able to make good money in the markets, you can become a member and ask me anything you want. And until the next update, I hope you have a wonderful time with your family and loved ones. Goodbye.